Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, Lone Star Mopars.com. Saturday evening, we just took a look at Koken Tool Haul number 4. Technically we had a decent order. I sort of split it into two parts here for us. And if you missed the previous one, I suggest you check it out. We landed this awesome quarter drive Wobble-Fix extension foam set, blue foam. Again, if you missed that and you're like, I didn't know Koken did blue foam. Well, they do red foam as their default. That's what you're going to see advertised. But they've got blue, they've got yellow, they've got gray. So I encourage you to check that video out. It looks awesome in my opinion. Obviously, some of you might have different color preferences. Some of you might color code. Some of your places of work might require a certain code, like you might have to get yellow or something. But we also picked up this railed set here. 9 pieces, quarter, 2 3/4. Let me orient it properly. And that wasp is back in here. If I could see the thing, I could kill it. It's very angry. But, quarter to 3/4, and that is our shallow set. It's going to complement this one, which I've had fantastic luck with. And we're sort of going to pick up there. I've actually been so impressed by the Koken stuff that I pulled the trigger on something that I think is going to be a really, really nice addition. It's sadly something that is not made in SAE, so all of you across the pond people that balk, at all of my old school American crud, and, like, this idiot doesn't do anything in metric. Well, sometimes I have to, and this is going to be a really cool set. It's something that I don't have anything really similar to, and I think it's going to pay really nice dividends for me. So, what we have is part number RS 3410M12. This is fairly reasonable, I would say, at $69.32. The reason being, it's a 12-piece set. Now, here it is, and I just moments before, or actually while we started the video, took this apart while I was talking to you. And if we zoom in on that, you're going to see exactly what 12 pieces we get. This is no skips, 8 all the way up to 19. This is kind of the bread and butter for 3/8 drive in terms of metric stuff, in my opinion. Would it be cool to see a 7, maybe a 6? Yeah. Should you probably be using quarter drive with those? Yeah. But 8 to 19, I don't think many people are going to argue with that setup. So, what is it, you ask? What is so special that we've taken it out to hide it from you? Well, it's right here. And I know exactly what you're thinking. You're like, dude, it's just 12 pieces instead of 9. This is your SAE set you just showed us. It's shallow. They're not even Zeal sockets. They're not super stubby. They're not semi-deep. They're just 8 to 19, 6-point, 3/8 drive metric sockets. Get on with the show. Well, I'm not going to, because that would be partially correct, but it would be missing the highest highlight. Where these differ, I wonder if we zoom in if you'll be able to see this a little bit better. So hopefully you can tell, you're looking at my SAE set from the previous haul. These are 6-point. I'm going to come in now and flip this, and I hope that you can tell a difference in the profile. If you can't, you should be able to. Zooming in, I think maybe here you can get it. Focus on the O in Mopar. This is a 6-point SAE, and then if this sort of looks more of like a gear cog, like this is flared out, typically you've got, your flat, and then you sort of dimple in, so you're kind of grabbing by the flats. This is special. This is what Koken calls their surface drive. The surface drive, again, sadly, not available in 3/8. It's not available in SAE anything, I should say. Let's just grab the 19, okay? I use 19 quite a bit, and I think it's obviously the biggest, and you should hopefully be able to see it the best, which you can. So if you're thinking, like, that is a strange looking socket, surface drive, what is this? Is there like some gear cogs, in Chrysler transmissions or something, buddy? It almost looks like roller bearings, or something. Well, this is fixed position, and what this is actually super cool because it works on multiple fronts. What this is designed to do is it's going to grip the fastener from the flats, and you're like, well, that's what most 6 and 12 points do. They dimple them out so you don't round the corners off. What's the big deal? Well, this is the big deal. Think about when you go and you take a hood off, or a deck lid, or a fender, or whatever body panel. When you're taking off body panels, they all have some characteristic in common, right? The fasteners are painted. Okay, so let's say that you get yourself a, I don't know, we'll say a 70 Roadrunner, okay? And you want to come in and you want to put an aftermarket hood on it. You want a scoop of some kind, right? Or you're gonna switch it out with an air grab or do something. Well, here's the catch, okay? You come in and you've got, let's just say, you know, Hemi Orange, vitamin C, whatever. You got paint. And as soon as you put a 6-point, 12-point socket, it doesn't matter, and you break it free because it's going to be tight, you start taking some of the paint off. In fact, you pull the socket down and you'll probably see traces of the body color in the socket. And you're like, oh man, that sucks. But it's just the bolt. This is designed to prevent that. This is designed to work with painted fasteners. This is designed for polished fasteners. So let's flip the script and let's say that, you know, your thermostat's leaking and you've got super ridiculously polished stainless, you know, the little fasteners with the bow tie or the Circle the Problem Ford logo or the Mopar Omega M. If you put 6 or 12-point standard sockets, I don't care what brand they are, you're going to start to kind of tear into the luster. These are designed to avoid that. Whether it works or not remains to be seen. I haven't obviously gotten to try them. We're just opening them. They just showed up on my doorstep last night. But in theory, that's what they do. So painted and polished fasteners. But wait, we're not done. Let's say, I don't have an exact example of this, but maybe you've got some antique of some sort that has like a brass fastener. Or there's something aluminum. I don't know. I'm thinking of soft metals, okay? Painted, polished, and soft. This excels. This will keep the finish from being marred up, essentially. However, I am not done. There is the second component there. That's sort of to protect the finish, again, whether it's painted, polished, or soft material. The other side of this, think of this profile and see if it reminds you of anything else. Some of you might be thinking like, that looks like a nut twister, you know, or that looks like one of those rounded out rocket things, you know, whatever. And it kind of does, and that is the flip side of the coin. In addition to this being utilized to preserve the finish on sensitive fasteners, they claim it will also work on deformed fasteners. So let's come in and let's say that we've got our 6-point and it's just torqued down like crazy, and you round that sucker out and you just, you know, you lose 2 or 3 flats on it and nothing's really wanting to hook. You're having to get a wrench, but you don't have space to get leverage on it. Well, you come in and most people are going to reach for, like, you know, one of the gear wrench, you know, or RBRT, or, you know, rocket sockets or something like that, right? Maybe they work, maybe they don't, but that's why you have them. This also works for damaged fasteners. So it's kind of the bee's knees, really. Assuming this works and doesn't take paint off, works on polished fasteners and soft fasteners, and can then serve as like an extractor socket, this thing is epic beyond your wildest imagination, and that's why I desperately want to see these in SAE. Like, that's going to be one of the things I email Koken. I'm like, you've got to make this in SAE. Now, this is a deal. Will the metric sell better? Oh yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to lie. I know how the world works. Most people are driving modern, soulless, you know, crap boxes down the highways. But you go back in time, you know, and you in the classic cars, hot rods, antiques, muscle cars. I mean, heck, at this point in time, you know, it's weird to think about it, but Fox bodies are 30 years old. You know, the 3rd gen Camaro people are driving around with antique tags now. So your 82, 92 F bodies. On the affordable spectrum, you do a nice paint job on something, you get cheap, build it up, do your LS whatever, you know, Coyote swap this and that. These are going to come into play, okay? Like on my truck, when I took the hood off, the hood's never been off. When I take the hood off, I'm super cautious, you know, I think I even had tape around them, and it still strips the paint off, right? So if these prevent that, they are a godsend. They're going to be amazing. This isn't something you would necessarily have to have 1/4, 3/8, and half, you know, all the way from like microscopic sizes up to 2 inches. But whatever you're working with, if you're dealing with high-end, like industrial equipment, you know, and you powder coat it, and you frequently have to, you know, take some arm off to change a die or something, maybe this is a deal that you'd want to contract Koken to make a socket that you could send with the machine so the people don't take the finish off, you know. Just I was sort of just like, wow, you know, I'm glad I get catalogs and read them, because I wouldn't have known this existed. You know, you would see this profile in a catalog or some guy's toolbox and you'd be like, weird. You know, some people might, you know, just think, oh, I know a lot about tools. That's some extractor socket Koken must make. The fact that it extracts damaged fasteners and works, again, soft, polished, and painted fasteners is just super, super cool. So again, 8 to 19, they do have additional sizes available as well. I think that's going to cover stuff. Let's say, you know, you I don't know, drift a BMW, you know, or you track some Mercedes, you know, car. People don't want to take the paint off. You know, I get it's a race car, but it's like, you know, yeah, if you can avoid that, you want to. And so, same thing at a dealership. I mean, let's say that you've got a lemon, you know, the engine was just junk from the factory, and you've got to take the hood off. Paint's going to come off. That person just spent $100,000 on some SUV, probably doesn't want to, you know, open the hood on an oil change or to, you know, add oil to their Audi or something, and then boom. You know, we've got stripped fasteners over here. The paint's off of them. They're flash rusting. So if these work, super amazing. I would love to see this expand out to SAE. It's just, like I said, the bee's knees in my opinion. So coming in now, and they do offer these, I think, in the other drive sizes. Again, you'll know what you're doing, whether it's super heavy duty, half-inch drive stuff with massive sizes, or if it's super finite, precise stuff with quarter. Proceed accordingly. 3/8 is sort of the sweet spot for automotive stuff, in my opinion, and that's what we pulled the trigger on. So Koken, if you're watching, please consider making this in SAE sizes. I think it would do quite well. Now, this is what I promised to start the video with, and I realized that shortly after we were rambling on about those. And, this stuff is going to tie in with the quarter drive Wobble-Fix extensions and just quarter drive Koken in general. So what we have going on, if you're like, man, why don't you even have a quarter drive Koken? What's the deal? I don't, because the Zeals aren't out yet, and I don't want to go in and, you know, like get some standard one when the Zeals should be coming here in a couple of months, right? So what we have is their part number 2762. This is 300 millimeters, and you're thinking like, oh, it's an extension. Did you just get a regular extension instead of the Wobble-Fix right after you told us how great the Wobble-Fix was? What a guy. Well, not quite. This will set you back $28.12, and you're like, whoa, that's disproportionately high. Well, I'm super glad that I bought this thing, because it is absurdly good. I've not gotten to use it, but boy, am I thinking about things, and I guess I should share the glory with you. So let's do this somewhat dramatically. It's a long way down to the camera. Oh, yeah. Is it wobbling because of my hand? Am I nervous to reveal this? Is there an audience in the shop? I don't know. Come down. I'll show you the other side. Oh, is that knurling, you say? Well, oh, it is knurling. What have you done? This is a lot of knurling, and it feels so good. This is awesome knurling. Fantastic job, Koken, on the knurling. And then you're like, whoa, is this shaft knurled? Uh-oh. Check that out. This is better than I had imagined when I ordered it. I ordered it kind of on a whim, and I was like, I wonder what kind of flex it has. I figured it'd be one of those, like, it goes from straight to like this, and it's taxed really bad. Okay. Well, it just got interrupted. I was just buzzed by that thing with a giant stinger. I didn't see it, but it was on my head for a brief moment in time. So my apologies there. I do all this in real time. But this is so much better than I thought. Again, I think I was saying that I kind of bought this on a whim, and good lord, it's got some good flex to her. So I'm pretty excited about this. I'm just going to pair this with a 200 millimeter Wobble-Fix. We're going to go in fixed position. Here is a 500 millimeter extension that's flexible here, but wait, if I kick it out a tab, now it's a wobble. Oh, the things we could probably do with this. It remains to be seen. Sometimes you get stuff like this and you're super excited about it, and then you actually try to use it and it sort of like disappoints you or sucks. This is a Wright 9/16 12 point, by the way, but I'm pretty hyped up about this one. I think it's going to be good. So again, case in point right here. That thing is cool, and look at this. If I pull the socket off and we just put, this one is not Wobble-Fix, by the way, it's just straight extension on the end, but when they said 300 millimeter, they're like going from, you can't see that, from the length, okay? So if I just zoom in right here and you're like, well, that's way longer, dude. Yeah, it starts here. That's the Wobble-Fix 300 millimeter. And then if I pan out for you, see how they match up? So this is actually going to be a little bit longer than 300 millimeter, which is super cool. And the knurling on this is so good. There's no skips. God. I'm telling you what, after this, that thing's gonna die. So I've got to just find it. I've got brake cleaner ready to go, but there we are. That thing I think was well worth the $28. I was sort of leery of that. I wasn't sure if it'd be good or bad. Bench impressions, it's gonna be sweet. Now, tying in, I think this is our last item, and I don't think it'll disappoint you either. This is something that it's gonna seem stupid to a lot of you, but I think you'll sort of see what I'm thinking, right? You know? So this is Koken. It's another little 4-digit part number, 2120. There's the bag proving my case. And it's gonna set you back all of $14.72. And if I come in here and I showcase it to you, you're like, well, it's a little quarter drive socket. What is that, like a bit adapter? You're gonna put this on and have a bit. You know, I see what you're doing, buddy. Very clever, but it's not that big of a deal, is it? Well, here it is. So picture this. You've got your spinner handle, you've got your ratchet, you've got your Wobble-Fix extension, you've got your flex, and then you've got this little guy right here, and you can put your bits in, right? Can you? Can we put a bit in? Let's find out. Oh, did you hear that? Well, you think, man, you must have grabbed a really long bit. That seems to be sticking out right. Too far, right? Too far. What can we do? Well, we've got a loose socket here, and it's down in an engine bay. Uh-oh. That is correct. You're starting to piece this together, aren't you? I lost my little stubby Wobble-Fix. If you haven't realized what's going on, part number 2120 is a magnet. So think of this as basically like the size of a little bit adapter or just a quarter drive socket, but it has a magnet in it, a pretty strong magnet at that. So I'm able to come in here. This is a 19 millimeter surface drive on a rail. Oh my lord. My hand is here and the other one is obviously holding it. She's got, this is not, Koken sockets are surprisingly lightweight, but I mean, this is a 12-piece 3/8 drive socket set complete with the rail, and it just manhandled that thing. So what do we have back here? Got a coupling nut. This is sweet. This is one of those times, you know, where you purchase things blind on the internet. Sometimes I get screwed, and other times it's like, am I the smartest man alive? You know, it's possible. I don't know, some of you might give me that award right now, because this is just a killer setup. It's a shame. I think they could offer this as a kit. Give me a quarter, 3/8, and half of this, and like maybe 2 different sizes, put it in foam and include these magnets. I'm buying a set. I think a lot of you would too. I'm going to come over here. We've got the 200 millimeter Wobble-Fix. Gone fishing. This is so cool. This is going to be a real test, okay? This is a Gedore 5/8 12 point plus a very large 1/2-inch drive extender. We're just going to go straight down, crane style here. Okay, that exceeds the weight limit. I mean, Gedore doesn't screw around, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I'm going to come over here to my 9-piece socket set, and up she goes. So this is the 1/4 to 3/4 SAE shallows. You get the idea. It's nothing short of impressive. We're going to come grab the nut grips. Oh, it's gonna get those and the rail. I mean, look at that. Again, my free hand is here. I'm spinning it, decent RPMs, and it's just staying in place. Okay, where are you? Not you, I know where you are. You're in front of your computer or cell phone, or maybe in bed with your wife. Again, shout out to everyone who puts up with me. Some of you guys don't realize your wives must be super cool if they sit there and allow you to watch this stuff before you go to sleep. But anyway, all that aside, I've got a killer bee wasp hornet thing to track down, and we're out of items here in Koken land. So this is why I split it up into 2 parts. Number 1, a lot of times people they don't watch longer videos. Number 2, it sort of flows better. It's more content. Again, I know some of you are like diehards and you'll sit there for 50 minutes. I could talk about the Wobble-Fix for that long and you'll still be there. Some of you enjoy like 15 minutes of it and fall asleep. You're welcome. And then other people just, you know, they're gone. Standard YouTube is like, yeah, this isn't 3 minutes or less. I'm not interested. And I just can't really bring myself to do that type of stuff. You know, if I watch someone's video that's 3 minutes, I'm like, man, they didn't tell me the price. They didn't link the product. They didn't tell me why they bought it. They didn't tell me what they're using it for. They didn't say if they had previous experience. And that's why my videos are the way that they are. It's kind of like if you showed up over here and you're going to have me work on your, you know, 71 Demon or something, and you're like, hey, tell me about that weird little ratchet over here. I'm not going to sell you short. I'm going to tell you everything you want to know. And then you can be like, I'm going to go buy that. Or you could be like, wow, that's ridiculous. I'm going to stick with my Home Depot special. So that's sort of where my style came from, I guess. Is just, I'd rather have too much information in the video than not enough. And really, there's never too much information, but if it can provide the information you need to know before you proceed forward, so be it. I could have told you this is a flexible extension and a magnet, but what fun is that? I mean, is this not a better video? I think it is. But yeah, true story with Koken. I don't know. I don't have my catalogs in the house again because I placed a massive order last night, but I would buy this in a heartbeat in 3/8 and 1/2 inch, and I would consider them in assorted lengths. The money that you save on their foam sets, like if you add up the 7 extensions separately and then you were to add in the foam, which they value at around $30, which seems fair to me, you're saving $30–40 somewhere in that range. Same thing with the 3/8 drive, it might be a little bit more. If you could get like some foamed set of this coupled with the corresponding magnet, I think people would buy that. Like, I mean, I'll have to use the extension. Like, I mean, like I told you, that thing from Harbor Freight, in theory it seems really cool, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. I'm talking about like that Hercules deal, you know, that goes on an impact and flexes. I've had good luck with it, and then sometimes I can like fire it on and I can't get it to function. And then, you know, 2 weeks later I bust it out and it's super cool. So these are always kind of sketchy until you use them and you're like, wow, that really does work. But the flex is amazing. This little magnet guy is killer. The strength of that is insane. Like, I was not expecting that. I figured like it picks up nuts and bolts, you know, type of a thing, but I mean, it picked up this whole railed set. So case in point, just listen to this. Yeah, she's pretty solid on the magnetic front. So with that said, I'm gonna quit rambling. I've got some evil Hornet thing to track down and dispose of. But let me know your thoughts on all this, man. I'm pretty happy with this haul. Again, everything 4 and 5 came in together, but I thought, you know, it kind of makes sense to do 2 standalone videos. So if you have used the surface drive, I don't know if a lot of people know this exists, but if you did and you've used it, does it actually work? Like, does it extract damaged fasteners? If you're coming in and you're taking the hood off of a brand new Mercedes, does it keep the paint intact? If you use it on like polished engine bay fasteners, you know, does it hold up? That's into the bargain, the advertised selling point. Let me know, because I'm super curious. I wish I would have had this before I took the hood off. I do have some more painted fasteners on the truck. We'll kind of try to utilize these. It'll be my go-to for anything painted at this point in time. But again, I do wish that was available in SAE. I think that would be a hot ticket if it was marketed and people were aware of it, you know, type of a thing. So high-end, you know, like people that really get into tools, you might know about it, but a lot of the people at body shops aren't, you know, type of a thing. So it sort of has to be marketed in order to sell and achieve its potential. But anyway, as soon as I can use them and try them out, I'm going to. And I guess the cool thing, they also work as a standard socket too. It's not like it can't just turn a regular run-of-the-mill bolt. So would be a great option for anybody, auto body, or if you're into like high-end finish outs on cars and stuff. So keep those in mind. Again, I'd love to see them SAE. Let me know your thoughts on any of this stuff. Feel free, throw down your thoughts, experiences, opinions on it down below. If you like the video, I encourage you to leave a like. If you like the channel, some of the other things I do, I encourage you to subscribe. Otherwise, we've got new videos Wednesdays at 9 a.m. That's usually automotive or tool organization. I still have tons of tool organization stuff, by the way. Saturdays, we do tool stuff. And we've got a lot, and man, I love every minute of it. So I hope you do too. And with that said, I will quit rambling. Website is LoneStarMopars.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. With that said, have yourself a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you're able to cash in on that Father's Day sale, 20% off. If not, follow along on the channel. I'll try to keep you up to date on those deals. And with that said, I'll catch you back for more action from the shop.